Stanley Cup playoffs on CBC return in just a moment. Again tonight, we will be updating the action from the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, game number 4 of the series between the Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders in the Patrick Division semifinals. This has been a classic defensive series, one goal deciding all 3 previous games. Last night, with the Islanders back home and facing elimination down 2-0, they took a 2-0 lead, and it turned out they would need this second goal by Brent Sutter. It was scored late in the third period. The Islanders appeared to be home free, but the Caps pulled their goalie and scored once in the final minute and came rather close to evening the score and sending it into overtime. It would have been the 3rd straight overtime game in the series. The Islanders now have some momentum going for them, and they have all the playoff experience any team could want. So the Capitals can't be too certain, even with the 2-1 series lead. 2 other series are still going.
Buddy held it. Our Stanley Cup update. The Islanders at home to Washington. We go to the Nassau Coliseum now, and here is Jim Hewson.
The New York Islanders strike first at home. 1:51 is the time of this power play goal. John Tonelli spots Denny Potvin breaking in from the left point. He beats Al Jensen. The Islanders go out front 1-0. Tonelli rink wide to Dennis Potvin on Long Island. Potvin puts the puck behind Al Jensen. Jensen had been assessed a delay of game penalty. Gardner was serving the penalty when Potvin's goal put the Islanders out front 1-0 at 1:51 of the first period.
Lead 3-1 here. We go back to our Stanley Cup update to the Nassau Coliseum and Jim Hewson.
After a slow start, the Washington Capitals are starting to roll on Long Island. A shot from Stephen Pearson is blocked by Dave Christian. He goes down the ice 2-on-1 with Mike Gardner. Uses Gardner as the decoy, beats Billy Smith. 2-1 Capitals 13 minutes into the first. Christian blocked the shot by Stephen Pearson. Then used Mike Gardner as the decoy.
CBC returns in just a moment. 4-1 Montreal over Boston here after 1 period at Long Island. They've already scored in less than 1 period, more goals than in the entire game last night when the Islanders beat Washington by a score of 2-1. 2-2 was the last report as we rejoin Jim Hewson.
Late in the first period, it's 2-2 as the Islanders dump the puck in. John Tonelli is after it. Scott Stevens upended as he tries to move out. Ryan Crosby, number 19, with Tonelli out in front. The centering pass is kicked away by Craig Loughlin. We're into the final minute of the first period. More wide open affair after a great defensive game last night. Flatley takes the shot. It's the save, the rebound. The net is knocked off its scoring as Flatley was checked by Bobby Gould into Al Jensen. And the net is knocked off its scoring. Minor penalties to Tonelli and Adams for roughing have expired, but there will be more penalties here. Pat Flatley takes a shot on Al Jensen. There's a big rebound up in front, and Gould is called for holding Pat Flatley on the play. Penalty comes at 19:11 of the first period, so the New York Islanders will go to the power play for the second time in the game. They scored on their first opportunity when Potvin scored at 1:51 from Tonelli and Johnson. That was a power play goal. The shots on goal are 12-9 in favor of the Islanders. Last night there were only 8 shots on goal in the entire first period. It was a much more defensive game last night. They've opened it up considerably tonight compared to last night. And it's been a very entertaining game with the score tied 2-2. The Islanders go to the power play. Winning the draw, Thomas Johnson is number 3. Into Mike Bossy, rink wide for Potvin. He takes the puck off the board. Gillies is in front of the net. He'll be in front trying to screen so the shooters can get a chance to beat Al Jensen. 30 seconds left first period. Thomas Johnson into the corner. Crotchet's after it against Rod Langway. Backhand carrying pass not out. There's a shot by Potvin. Steered wide of the net. 20 seconds left in the first period. Behind the net. Crotchet working to get it out, and Doug Jarvis dumps the puck down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the first period. Islanders 2, Capitals 2. The Islanders are on the power play. Here's Crotchet moving in. A pass to Gillies. They'll run out of time. Gillies won't get a shot on goal. The penalty carries over into the second period. Very entertaining first period on Long Island. The Capitals and the Islanders are tied 2-2.
And don't the Philadelphia Flyers love it when they see those teams slamming each other around? First place in some divisions anyway can make or can appear to make a difference. The Flyers awaiting the survivor of the Capitals versus the Islanders. Live on CBC, this is Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup playoff.
We'll be outside the Canadiens' line. We have action waiting for us from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Here again is Jim Hewson.
Washington Capitals take a 2-goal lead on the island. A great three-way passing play. Gardner to Gustafson at the side of the net. He beats Billy Smith, and Washington has a 4-2 lead. Goal comes on a power play at 13:54 of the second period. The pass into Gardner, over to Gustafson. He beats Billy Smith. Capitals lead 4-2 in the second period.
And fail to hold it, yet for some reason the team that plays with the lead usually winds up winning the game. We'll see if that takes place tonight as the Canadiens built the large lead, lost it, and are now tied. Let's now go to Long Island and Jim Hewson.
There was a chance moments ago by Dwayne Sutter, who shot the puck wide and then centered it, but the Capitals swept the puck away. 1:52 to play in the second period as the Islanders win and draw in the Capitals zone. Get a shot towards the goal, but Jensen covers up. There's been a much more wide-open hockey game tonight than it was last night when the teams played a classic defensive game. Tonight, they have created lots more chances and have skated far more freely. Hasn't been as much hitting tonight either. Islanders facing elimination, trailed by 2, 4-2 to the Washington Capitals. Scott Stevens has the puck. Stevens up on the board to Gould to Jarvis. Jarvis with one man back. Takes the shot on Billy Smith. Smith leaves the puck. It's cleared, not out. Here's Bloomquist trying to get the shot away and dumps it to the end zone. In after the puck is Bobby Gould. Gets it loose for Jarvis to Duchesne. Back on the point to Bloomquist. Holds up. Now he shoots, deflected wide of the net. 1 minute and 5 seconds to play in the second period. Washington 4. The Islanders 2. Washington leads this series 2-1. They could eliminate the New York Islanders tonight. We're in the last minute of the second period. Hasn't been a penalty-filled game, but the power plays have played a part. And Spinelli takes the shot, and Jensen made the save. The Capitals have 2 power play goals tonight in 3 chances. Islanders are 1 for 3 on the power play. Billy Smith took a slashing penalty that set up the Capitals' 4th goal in this second period. 30 seconds to go. Here's Trent Sutter, poke check by Larry Murphy at the side of the net. Charging after the puck is John Spinelli. Taken heavily into the board. Wayne Sutter lost the puck to Dave Christian. Capitals trying to kill the remaining seconds of the second period. There's a struggle behind the play between Spinelli and Stevens. 8 seconds to go, second period. Islanders move up and dump the puck in. New York Islanders are 20 minutes away from playoff elimination. It's Washington 4, the Islanders 2 after 2 periods of play.
Again, and Jim Hewson.
In the third period, Pat Flatley takes the bouncing puck off the backboard, takes the pass in front. The puck slowly gets through Al Jensen, and the New York Islanders have some life. They trail the Washington Capitals 4-3. The goal coming 3:26 into the third period.
It's the Nassau Coliseum, so on Stanley Cup Update, once again, here is Jim Hewson.
The New York Islanders have tied the Washington Capitals 4-4 in the third period. 7:55, the time of the goal by Mike Bossy, who looked for a loose puck at the side of the goal. Jensen made a save, but Bossy was able to hammer it home, and a power play goal ties it up 4-4 on Long Island as Bossy gets the goal.
And us and our update play-by-play man Jim Hewson. The Capitals were up 4-2, trying to end the series. The Islanders came back and they tied it at 4. And we are going to show you a goal that broke that 4-4 tie and keep you in suspense who got it as we go to Nassau Coliseum.
Right off a face-off in the Washington zone, Brian Trache has scored for the New York Islanders. 18:52, the time of the goal in the third period. Trache has given the Islanders life. They lead 5-4 and try to extend this series to a 5th game in Washington.
So the Islanders, who were down 2-0 after losing 2 overtime games in Washington, now leading late in the third period and trying to win their second game on home ice and force a 5th game at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. That would also be played on Tuesday night. We could have a very interesting Tuesday with Buffalo also leading Quebec and trying to force a 5th game. Let's return to the Nassau Coliseum and Jim Houston.
And here goes Carpenter. The penalty shot was awarded at 19:30. Brian Murray needs a timeout. I'm sure he's worried about the composure of his team. Here's the penalty shot. Carpenter elects to shoot. Smith looked cool and collected and made it Andy save. What a pressure situation for young Bobby Carpenter. Called upon to take a penalty shot, 30 seconds to go in a playoff game. His team down 5-4. To Van Kent, Billy on Long Island, where Smitty has again saved the day for the New York Islanders. They picked him up in the expansion draft in 1972, and how many times has he bailed this team out over the years that he has been here? He's controversial, he's outspoken, and he's real good in goal. Here's the play again. Paul Boudelier down in the goal. 30 seconds left in the game. Boudelier knows his team is in some trouble. There's a scramble in his zone. He deliberately lifts the goal off its mooring, and the rule book states that if you deliberately delay the game with less than 2 minutes to go, there is a penalty shot awarded. And so it was. And so it was that Bob Carpenter was foiled by Billy Smith. And so it is that the Islanders lead 5-4 with 30 seconds to go and could send this series into a 5th game in Washington. Unbelievable drama from the Nassau Coliseum tonight. Islanders were down 4-2 at the start of the third period. Let's look at it again as Bob Carpenter has a chance to tie the game at 5. He elects to shoot. Smith made it look easy, didn't he? Billy Smith, the outstanding goaltender, has bailed his team out once again. Islanders 5, Washington 4. 30 seconds remaining in this game, or in the third period. The Capitals will have their goaltender Jensen out. They'll have the extra attacker on the ice, trying to tie it. This comeback tonight is very reminiscent of the 1982 first-round series when the Islanders were up against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They were down 3-1 in the third period, came back to win the game on a memorable John Tonelli goal, and then went on to win the Stanley Cup that season. Tonight, facing elimination, down 2-1 to the Capitals in the first round. The Islanders had a poor second period. The Capitals got in front 4-2. But a 3-goal comeback in the third period with Flatley. And then the veterans, Bossy and Trottier, the heart of this team, coming back to score to give the Islanders the 5-4 lead. And Billy Smith foils the Capitals' Bob Carpenter on a penalty shot with 30 seconds to go. And it's 5-4 Islanders, and we're about set to resume action. I don't know that anything else could happen in this game that hasn't already occurred. It's been a remarkable night. And a tribute to this great game of hockey. Played at its best by a 4-time champion and a would-be champion from Washington. Trottier, Bossy, Brent Sutter on the ice. The Washington goal is empty. The extra attacker is on the ice. And they'll have a free shot at the goal. Bossy shoots it. Scores! the playoffs. The Islanders lead 6-4, 16 seconds to go, and there will be a fifth game in this series. 16 seconds to go in New York. The net is empty for Washington. Mike Bossy takes the puck to center, steps over the center line, and fires to the open net. He hits it. 1944, the time of the empty net goal. The Islanders lead 6-4 and will force a fifth game in this series. They count down the second. Billy Smith, the hero of the night. Mike Bossy with 2 goals. The Islanders dodge a bullet and win 6-4. There will be a fifth game on Tuesday night. This is Jim Houston reporting from Long Island.
So we'll have some fun watching the development of that fifth and deciding game on Tuesday night, as they will go back to Washington and will be in Montreal deciding this series between the Bruins and the Canadiens.